I know this is one of your favorite conversation starters. We need to talk about.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble.
It's not sinister or anything, right? But so this topic that we need to talk about actually doesn't stem from last week, Fight to Win 164, but the previous week, 163. Now, we would have talked about this last week on Grappling Bulletin, the show that got cancelled. But it is such a big topic. It's such an important thing to talk about that, well, we brought it back and we had to talk about it today, right? We need to talk about SLAMS in Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh boy.
The great
Strap in.
debate, yeah? So, well, I tell you, the first thing we should do, right? Before we really get into our thoughts on SLAMS, we should play this clip, right?
Run it.
Let's take a look.
This tank's getting empty. Maybe not, but slam, and just some slobber flying straight out of Johnny Sosa's. Johnny Sosa is out. I think Johnny Sosa is out.
I noticed he didn't move.
He didn't move. He didn't defend.
Yeah, he didn't respond.
I think Johnny Sosa's out
with his eyes open. Because once he stunned, the first thing I looked at was his face, and his eyes were open.
Yeah,
but
that
he did
slam,
not move at all when Formiga jumped over.
I think that slam knocked Johnny Sosa out.
Okay, so first of all, we should point out that this is not a shot at Formiga or anything like that.
Absolutely not.
Formiga is one of the nicest gentlemen in the game. No malicious intent there, but the results are undeniable. I mean, that was pretty brutal, Hal.
Yeah, absolutely. It is brutal. And the problem is that this clip, we posted it on our Instagram during the show, actually, and it kickstarted a huge, fierce debate with the vast majority of people basically saying that they didn't like it, right? I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. I mean, you can go and look for yourself. It's still there, but I see both sides of it, right? I like the fact that as a professional show where competitors are giving every tool in their arsenal to win a match, that is, I think, a good thing, right? Like for a long time when the IBJJF didn't allow heel hooks,
people complained
saying that's one of my major weapons. Now, are slams one of people's major weapons? No, but it is an attack, so why limit it? Now, thankfully, as far as Fight to Win is concerned, there's been no, as far as I know, serious debilitating injuries from this. There have been some maybe concussions, which are serious. They've racked those up, but no one's broken their back or anything like that, or no neck injuries. So it's been okay, but it's very scary. As someone who...
All right, so it is scary, but it's a very polarizing topic, right? The majority of people, you're right, they will come out and they'll say that, number one, it's not technical. Number two, that is dangerous. And the other thing that they most often cite is that it is just a bad look for the sport. So let's break it down. Let's go for the first one. Do you think a slam is a technical move?
I think in the streets, this could be the right technique. I mean, if a guy's hanging off of you, that would hurt him.
Technically speaking, yes. I feel
but do I think I'm not? Maybe I'm dancing around. No, it's not very technical. But
okay,
I think
technically, I think it is, right? Because you know, well, the number one, try picking somebody up who doesn't want to be picked up.
They do it all the time in close guard.
They do, but they let themselves be picked up. Try picking somebody up who doesn't want to be picked up. What are they going to do? They're going to hook the ankle. They're going to grab your pants. You won't be able to get that person off the ground. Johnny, in this case, Johnny Souza, the guy who got knocked out, forgot maybe that slams were legal in this rule format, and he just like came 3-4 feet up off the ground, allowing Formiga to dive his full combined weight forward into a slam. That's a lot of weight, you know? So technically, I feel that it was maybe a reminder that if you are on bottom, you shouldn't let somebody pick you up, and you should have the right technical answer for that. It's not like there's no defense for it.
I mean,
once you're on your way down, there's no defense.
That's true. I mean, that's definitely one of the first things I learned as a white belt. If you get picked up, hook the leg, open your legs, don't get carried.
Open your legs. There you go. There's another very easy defense right there.
I feel like it's only as you progress through and compete a lot where you start maybe trying to climb up for attacks. You feel much more comfortable because you're...
One might say bad habits?
One could say. Yeah, I don't know. There is some technique to it, but I don't think it's a great look. I don't know.
Okay, so there's the next thing. All right, well, we'll come to that in a second. Number one. Number two, dangerous. The
undeniably dangerous.
possibility for injury. Well, the fact that this isn't the first knockout by slam on the fight to win stage. But the thing is, the fight to win stage is sprung.
Yes.
There's quite a lot of
Yes.
no. I've never competed. I've walked across it, but you've competed on the fight to win stage. What does it feel like?
There's a lot of give. It's kind of bouncy. It's definitely you would have a much more devastating effect if the match were simply on the ground,
Like in the gym.
like on the gym. That would really, really be much more devastating, much nastier. There's a significant amount of bounce. If you guys ever trained like on an octagon or like an MMA cage, usually they have some floorboards, some springs, and stuff like that. It is a difference maker for sure. And you can hear it. You can definitely hear that kind of bouncing sound.
It was a big old
Yeah,
bang. Yeah, that's for sure. And then there's the other thing is the optics of it. How does it look? Is it good for jiu-jitsu to see somebody get knocked out? Because the fact is that jiu-jitsu, while it's not MMA, people are not watching jiu-jitsu to see people get knocked out. People are watching jiu-jitsu, and there's the very real possibility you could see somebody's arm get snapped, or see somebody's leg get broken, or see somebody get choked unconscious. So is there much different to a serious injury via a slam or a knockout via a slam, which is maybe serious, not serious, compared to a potentially serious injury on somebody's limb? Is there much difference?
I mean, we're talking about traumatic head injuries, concussive injuries. Those, in my opinion, I'm not a medical expert, but are significantly worse, right? I mean, I would rather have my elbow hyperextended than sustain a concussion.
Lose the memories from your 7th birthday party?
Yeah, well, maybe those can be left behind. But, yeah, I don't know. I think head injuries are pretty clearly a worse thing to incur. And that's one of the beauties of jiu-jitsu is that you can fight every weekend. You don't see other combat sports with strikes doing that because, it's much harder to keep up. You can't keep that work rate if you're getting punched in the face every weekend. So
that is very true. Man, so about the image of it, I'm in two minds. I feel that there is little difference between a slam compared to, let's say, a big, massive suplex or a huge judo throw where the guy gets thrown at great speed and impacts the mat. And you see some people landing on their heads in those kind of instances,
It's true, yes.
Where the difference between picking somebody up and dropping them down from the guard, the slam is, the kind of the same thing, really. But I will agree that in terms of like the look, in terms of the optics, I'm not sure how I feel about somebody knocking somebody out on purpose in jiu-jitsu as opposed to a gradual progression or a technical attack that led to a submission hold, a finishing hold. Because the one thing, of course, the difference between a slam and a submission hold, with a submission hold, you can tap early.
Sure.
You feel you're in danger. You feel your arm can be 98% hyperextended and you can tap out before it gets right to that breaking point. With a leg lock, you feel that your leg is in danger. You know that it's about to tap. Think about Mateus Diniz versus Gordon Ryan, that Gordon had him in like checkmate. And he didn't even need to rotate and extend, to hyperextend the knee. Well, Mateus knew he was done. He tapped. There was like nobody went away with any injuries in that match. With a slam, now the split second that you have from here to here, you don't have a lot of time to defend or to protect yourself against that. And once it's in motion, it's in motion. You got no say about it, right? So it's definitely a tricky one. Personally, I'm not against slams in fight to win. I know that maybe you're a little bit different, but I feel that, as you said earlier, it's a reminder that jiu-jitsu was made for fighting. That jiu-jitsu is a martial art, a combat sport, and that it should have practicality in various arenas. Now that applies to, let's say, mixed martial arts, self-defense, or sport jiu-jitsu. Now sport jiu-jitsu has become watered down over time to make it a safe sport for practitioners by removing the most dangerous elements. Fight to Win is a professional jiu-jitsu event.
It's a very bold claim to say so confidently. Jiu-jitsu's been watered down. That's a full-on discussion, I feel like, but go on.
It is, but the argument is clear. Even the powers that be know that. That's why they brought heel hooks back, because they were afraid of jiu-jitsu becoming watered down and not becoming as effective as it used to be. So if heel hooks are being brought back in and slams are being introduced by Fight to Win a while ago to keep things real, then maybe it's a reminder that if you're not training with those things in mind, then your jiu-jitsu, it's maybe not quite up to scratch. But in terms of the technique, not everybody needs to practice slams, because unless you're going to go compete on a Fight to Win, You shouldn't be slamming each other in the gym.
God, I hope that doesn't become very common.
Right?
I don't think it will. But they are here to stay. You know, unless something really changes. You know, Seth's been very clear that slams are a part of the format, and it would be a big reversal. And I don't think we're going to see that. So if you're,
I say let them stay, man. Professional jiu-jitsu is not the same as an open tournament. It's not the same as everyday training. I say keep him in.
There you go. Not up to us though. Not on this one. And yeah. Let's move right along here. Slams. That's a lot of talk
He's
on
had
slams.
enough about slams. It's a great debate. It's a big debate. It is a big debate, and it's definitely got people riled up. But yeah, there we go. Slams.
There you have it. So